So a while back I did a post about experimenting making some pigment sticks out of the scraps from the clay that I used to make my palettes. I ended up levigating that clay to get the finest particles, and you can find that post. It's about 7 or 8 posts back from this one. But what I wanted to do was then use this clay as a base and add in some synthetic pigments and see what kind of pigment sticks I could come up with. And so I have the results of that now. They've actually turned out really nicely. And I wanted to share with you how I did that. So here I've got some of my processed clay that I use in the ceramics studio. I've processed it to get the grit out of it so that it's just the fine particles that I can make some pigment sticks with. I've ground that up, and now I have a jar filled with powder that I can use. So right now I am going to work on a stick. I have made purple and a couple of blues, and I'd like a green that's in between these. So that is what I am going for here. So I just take it's about a half a teaspoon, or a little more than a half a teaspoon of the clay, and I'm just going to wet it down here. And when I get my synthetic pigments out, I'm going to put a mask on. I don't use very much of them, but they can get a little dusty before they get incorporated into here. So, and my voice is going to sound a little different when I do this. Okay, so first I'm going to add a little bit of ultramarine blue in here. And I just want to, ultramarine blue is great. It's kind of will melt right into the water so it doesn't get too dusty. There's that. And then this this is not quite as soluble in water, so this is why I'm wearing the mask. This is a fairly strong pigment, so we'll see, meaning it kind of takes over. So we'll see what happens here. May have to adjust. Cover these back up. Okay, just gonna get this wet here, and then I can get that incorporated without it. See how it sort of repels the water? Okay, now that it's mostly in the wet, I can take the mask back off. So I'm not worried about breathing any of it because it won't go into the air now. And we'll see what kind of a color I have. I think I'm going to need a little more green. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to add more green to this, and I will be back. So I've mixed a little bit more of the phthalo green in, and it is greener than this. Obviously I won't know exactly what it's going to look like till it's dry, but I think this is pretty good. So now I'm just going to scoop it onto a coffee filter. Coffee filter will help draw some of the water out so that I can form it into my stick. And we will just let that dry for a little bit, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I've already formed this green one into a stick form. I've made a few other colors, so I'll just show you how I do that. You can just roll your sticks into a round pastel-like shape if you want, or I like them square so they don't roll off my paper. So I've just made this mold out of craft store pieces of wood, and I put them into a piece of wax paper and slide them into one of these slots and just press them into the shape. And then I have one of these rubber band wheel lettering things where you can change the letters, and I mark them with a series of letters that I keep in my journal so I know what went in to each stick. So I will do the rest of these and then show you the results when they're all dry. So here are the resulting pigment sticks, and I just wanted to show you these are the synthetic colors that I used either on their own or in conjunction with other colors. So for example, this one was just ultramarine blue, and this one was a mixture of phthalo blue and Hansa yellow, which is here. And I did 2 mixtures of that, so this is the other one, just sort of an in-between color. It was pretty successful. They stick, they blend, good colors.